5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 performance.
And we're back with the In and Out Talks podcast, guys. What's going on?
Welcome.
Jordan Powell, Mitch Matulia, your co-owners and founders of Tier 1. We're back at it. And we got a lot to cover today.
Yeah.
Some of which is going to include the MLB postseason, the World Series, and also what athletes should be doing this offseason and things to look for parents and kids on like bad habits, things to fix. Guys, the months of November through January are probably some of the most important months prior to the season.
100%.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. But the Dodgers have won.
Yes.
The World Series.
Yeah.
I want to say it was a very hard fought World Series, but it clearly wasn't as hard fought going forward after the Game 1. Game 1 was immaculate though.
Clearly two best teams in the league all year long.
100%.
Superstars, $380 million payrolls on each team.
Expensive
Teams, they're expected to be in that position year in, year out. And some of the biggest names in baseball did not show out, and it was like the unsung heroes that had to step up.
Right.
And, I mean, that's what, when you have depth, though, that's what happens, right?
100%. Like, if I'm being completely frank, I thought the Yankees pitching staff was pretty good.
Yes. Well, Garrett Cole threw, I believe he gave up like one earned run in 2 starts.
And for those of y'all that couldn't tell, like his whole, especially like Game 1, like his whole philosophy was off speed, down and away, low, and then get them to chase the high fastball.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't catch up with it. High pitch fastball. People were popping up left and right. It kept Shohei at bay. It kept a lot of those guys at bay all the way through the 7th inning. And then when they came back around, like, you know, the second or third time in the lineup, he went high fastball and then hit him down low and completely reversed the opposite effect, and they had a hard time adjusting to it. And like, you know, and like at that point, you know, Los Angeles was really putting up runs.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Yankees also were not necessarily putting up runs, but like they had opportunity. Like Garrett Cole was doing their job.
Yeah.
Also, the Dodgers bullpen was actually, I thought, did a very well job, and their starters as well.
One of the best bullpens in the world, and they have the hottest man on the planet, Freddie Freeman.
Freddie freaking Freeman. He's a no doubt Hall of Famer, legend, hitting a home run in 3 games back to back, right? Unreal. Obviously hitting that grand slam to end it, to walk it off. First pitch off Nestor Cortez, like beautiful. You couldn't ask for a simpler, prettier swing, no doubter. Like, and then having a lineup with 3 MVPs is fucking brutal.
Even if you're not like a Dodger or Yankee fan, if you're a baseball fan, you probably should have tuned into this World Series.
Oh yeah, it was like, this whole fall postseason. Was very well.
Yeah.
Every series was really great. It wasn't like a flat out blowout. Like
except my O's and Astros.
I was rooting for them.
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm sorry. They need to do better.
I'm gonna become a Dodgers fan now. Bandwagon.
I will never buy an MLB jersey with someone's name on it, but I would, like, Shohei might convince me.
Ohtani's, he's gonna be back pitching next year. That's gonna be scary.
It's gonna be scary.
But like that brings me to my next point, man. Is like we preach fundamentals to kids, to athletes.
Right, 100%.
Look at what happened in the World Series. Is like, dude, errors, mental errors, physical errors. It's like, dude, these were key fundamental mistakes that cost them not only runs but also games. And I think the scouting report was released by the Los Angeles Dodgers. How they literally described the Yankees to a T. They're like extremely talented, but they don't get good leads. They don't steal bases. They're going to make some mistakes if we put the pressure on them early. Like, so if you get runners
They rely on the long ball. Way too much.
Dodgers were stealing bases. They're bringing in pinch hitters.
Small ball. Putting down bunts.
But they had the perfect combination of small ball mixed with big ball.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, you're not going to tell your 3 MVP players to lay down a bunt.
No.
But you got your 7, 8, 9 hole to get base runners on, good situations to put yourself up for your MVPs to make those hits. You had Muncy, who has the record for MLB for most postseason home runs for the Dodgers organization.
Yeah.
Like that's also another problem you got to deal with.
Kike Hernandez is
Both
a
Hernandezes.
a whole different player in the
Both
postseason.
of the Hernandez's boys are
Yes.
fucking, they're unreal.
Right.
Great ABs. Like, it really did come out to like who could execute more. It was execution, bottom line.
If you don't
In the
make
field.
errors and you capitalize on mistakes, you're most likely going to win games.
So you saw that PFP error with Rizzo and Cole.
Yeah, yeah.
For all you guys that are out there, it was Cole who deserved the error.
100%.
He didn't cover the bag. In case y'all were wondering, like Rizzo
No.
could have got there, maybe, but it's practiced throughout our whole lives.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball hits first base, second base, you run and you cover.
The ball made a little
Textbook.
corkscrew turn towards second, but it's like that pitcher naturally needs to be going to first no matter what. Like, even if it's hit right to Rizzo, you need to be
It should
cheating
be
that way.
automatic. It shouldn't
Yeah.
even be. It's like first
Yeah.
steps back in the outfield. Same thing. It's automatic. We all know the drill.
Correct.
Um,
Had they won that game, though, I don't think it would have made much of a difference in the whole
Correct.
series. I think LA would have gone back and won
and
the
at least
series in
took one more
6 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the Yankees won, I still think they would have taken another one. But like,
Yeah.
you got Judge not catching the ball in
Mm-hmm.
center field. I mean, everyone knows that. That's a must-have. You got to catch
Must.
that. No excuse, right? It's just a lack of focus or rushing, trying to prevent like the runners from advancing. I get it, but it's got to be caught.
Yep.
No one would argue about that. What was the other one? Who's the shortstop for Volpe?
Volpe.
Yeah, Volpe on the force out to third, just spiking it. Didn't have a good grip. Like, I don't know. I don't have an explanation for that. Like, you have to make that play.
No.
Also, I was seeing some things I had never seen in the World Series, like catcher's interference
Yeah.
on Shohei Ohtani's bat. That can't happen.
I wanted him to hit,
get
too.
bases
I
loaded.
was like,
I mean, it's not
keep
the
him in the
worst
box.
case that he
Yeah.
got the free base.
right.
But it's also like you don't want to give him anything for free.
Well, and he's been struggling all series.
Right. And
So
you
now-
had Mookie Betts, who has not, coming
Yeah.
up with bases loaded now. Can't happen.
No.
A balk. Can't happen. Can't happen.
Go back to fundamentals, man.
Exactly.
Some of the best teams that we played in college were like those like UC Irvine types of teams, right? Like that just played amazing defense. They didn't really hit many home runs, but they had decent pitchers who knew how to pitch, not just throw. So they would top out at like 92, but they had 4 pitchers that could throw for strikes
Right.
whenever they wanted. And like they didn't have the most talent in the world, but like, dude, they were top 25 in the nation like year in, year out.
And you got like guys putting pressure on the ball, like Chisholm. I thought Chisholm had a very good series. You know, he was stealing bases, putting pressure. And when he stole bases and put pressure, like the Dodgers pitchers were having a hard time getting over the plate. They were leaving it up. They were getting hits. Yankees were getting hits, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and they started to come back, and Chisholm was putting on pressure. But you got guys that had base running errors, like Giancarlo Stanton had like 2 in that series that I can recall, right?
Right.
The ground rule double where Edmund bobbled the turn 2 play, and Giancarlo like stopped running.
Yeah.
I assume it was to make sure, like, to get in the way, to make that ball like a hard throw. But like, if you would have beat it out and ran it, now we have no outs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then also getting thrown out on home plate, the slowest jog ever. I don't know if that's a sprint. I don't know if it is, but that's why we want to practice, preach base running and being fast.
Yeah.
It has to be done. Has to be done. So, what should our young, talented athletes do? Well, first let's do like a check in on all of our kids that we coach and train. So
Right.
You want to start on your side? Or you want me to start on my side? We can.
You can start on yours.
Yeah, okay. So, as far as our college guys go, last time I talked to my college guys, we had D and Ethan. They were both doing well. D's at I believe a D3 school, and he's killing it. Hopefully, going to be the starting first baseman. Ethan Allen is at center field for
Ranger College.
Thank
He's
you.
killing it.
He's killing it.
Hit a
Starting
bomb.
center fielder, hit a bomb. You know, he's doing well.
Yeah.
Little prodigy of mine. I know we have Garrett Lott at I think it's a D2 school. I can't remember the name. I have to look it up. And then I got all my middle schoolers doing well. I only have a few. My high schoolers are finally starting to hit some pop. I got high expectations for them. I got like 3 middle infielders. I got 2 outfielders in high school, and then I think I got a catcher, if I'm not mistaken. I got a catcher too, and they're looking really good. And then I got all my 10-year-olds that are they're coming along. I got some of them struggling, and it's just a lack of not practicing enough. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Just harnessing their skills. And I know families are busy, but making that time when the younger your kid is, for my parents out there watching, the younger your kid is, the more you spend time in practice with them, the more results and the more benefit you get out of that short span than you would like a high schooler.
Right.
It has to be, high school has to be refined. It has to be precision. It has to be accurate. There has to be a sole purpose. With kids 10 years old and below, right, just actually doing the act and having them physically work on his coordination, the athleticism, the throw goes a long way in general, even if they're not doing it perfect.
Right.
I expect perfection out of my high schoolers. I don't expect perfection from my 10-year-olds that are currently growing. And then I have a 6-year-old All-American, Joel.
He's a
doing
beast.
great. He's doing immaculate. He's on track to be
I worked at this fielding yesterday.
phenom.
Yeah. He gets the balls quick, dude.
He's an athlete.
He's an athlete.
Born to play baseball.
Yep.
What about your guys?
Man, yeah, dude, all my kids are doing well, and like you said, the biggest thing that I have had to preach to my kids this past season that's changed their trajectory of their performance is bumping up from like the 3 days of practice to minimum 5.
Yes.
And like, especially for all you guys, if baseball is the only sport you play, you've got no excuse to not hit at least 5 to 6 days a week. Now, if you're a multi-sport athlete, it's a little bit different, right? Like, if you're playing basketball in the wintertime, you might have to dial that down to 3 days a week hitting. You know what I mean? Sure. But you shouldn't just not pick up a bat for 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, that can't happen. So that's kind of like my word of advice for these, this upcoming off season is like, hey, November, December, January, that's where your development increases even more because you're not playing games. You're only training. You're getting stronger. You're eating. You're taking care of your diet, or at least you should be paying more attention to your diet.
Exactly. So, like for my younger kids, right? It is important for my parents out there and for my younger kids that are listening out there that you should be hitting and doing some sort of field work.
Yeah.
I say 5 days a week.
Yeah.
You can. I'm assuming one of those days you can have off Sunday, Saturday, whatever. The other one I think should be a recovery day.
Yeah. I agree.
I think 5 out of 7 days a week is easy because kids aren't that busy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it should be like a 2.5 hour grueling practice. Like hit off your tee for 30 minutes. Work on the fundamentals. I know it's going to be boring, but you need to watch your kid do it right. Make sure he's doing it right. Or if your kid already knows how to do it right, he needs to be doing it anyway just to make sure we're getting muscle memory in. Also for like fielding, whether it's working on conditioning, should really be hand-eye coordination to some sort of to your fielding specificity, or specialty. Like if you're doing first baseman drills, you should. If you're a first baseman, you should be doing first baseman drills, working on picks,
100%.
catching balls, in middle infielder or corner guys working on fast hands, good reaction time, getting the ball out of the glove, making sure you're catching the ball in the same spot in your pocket every time, working on your reaction. Outfield, making sure you're getting your arm window correct. Your footwork is huge. Making sure your first step is in the right place, taking the correct angles. Like you need to be doing something 30 minutes, an hour total. And that'll just go a long way. And if you do more, you do more. But like
it will.
That in itself is what should be happening, especially in the fall.
Yeah.
And then we got my older guys. Like you should have goals on that you want to hit. Goals for the spring season because now that the fall's here and the winter's coming up, we're now getting ready for the spring. So you should have a goal of what you want to do in the field, how you want to get better in the field, how you want to get better in the box, and then how you want to get better like when it comes to strength and conditioning. Like my goal is usually like I want to put on 5 to 10 pounds because I know when I get into the spring I'm going to lose 5 to 10 pounds. Yeah. But I don't want to sacrifice speed. I still got to work on speed and explosiveness. I do a lot of eye training in the wintertime. Like I start hitting those mini golf balls, have like that little machine. Yeah. It's mini golf, working on my hand-eye coordination, working on my timing, going from point A to point B. Then I face like the actual machine. Hard fastballs that make me uncomfortable in the box. So when I go face live, I'm very comfortable. Yep. Hard sliders, hard curveballs, different pitches, right side, left side. That's what that's what I'm working with my older guys now. Right. Honing on my technique, perfecting my my swing. We're no longer working on changes. We're working on muscle memory and execution so that when you roll over into the spring, it's sudden, it's quick, it's easy transition. And one thing for sure, you're starting off hot. So you don't have to worry about, I got to get a hit. Now I'm nervous. Like, coach might pull me, all this BS. We can't be worrying about that. It's already enough. You have to have your approach. we're working on our approaches as well towards the end when we get close. Like we have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, you got
Just
all
to
that
get
stuff
ready
do.
for the season, and that's the standard for anybody who wants to play at the next level. That is the standard.
Yeah, and they got nothing but time. And so, like, the way I like to break this down is, like, okay, by age group, right? By ages. So, elementary kids, you know, I would say, listen, if you play another sport, okay, maybe you can set down the batter ball for a little bit, but you still need to be working on your swing 3 days a week, regardless.
Right.
And I think a lot of these parents have misconceptions on when to start training, resistance training. Like, I'm talking, like, even just body weight stuff, right? Or med ball throws. It needs to start in 5th grade. If you're not starting in 5th, 6th grade these days, if your kid is leaving elementary school and not knowing how to exercise, that's a huge problem. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of kids in middle school not having that foundation set, and they're touching weights for the first time when they get to high school. They're taking care, and they're eating whatever they want. And like in this day and age, man, like that's going to set you back a little bit. You know, this isn't like it was 10, 20 years ago.
It's not. It's a different ball.
It's a different ball game now. So like I will harp on those parents out there in 5th grade, get your kid on some sort of workout program and start being more conscious of what you're buying at the grocery store and putting in their bodies. Because like those puberty years, like 4th grade throughout high school, that window is so vital for nutrient-dense whole foods. Like if you're not eating 4 meals a day, and I know it's not ideal for a lot of people, if you can't do it, like there's cheap ways of doing it, like tuna fish, eggs, chicken. It doesn't need to be steak or salmon or all these other, you know, pricier things. There's ways to budget these things in, right? But like what you're putting in your body is going to literally help you grow taller and stronger throughout those puberty years. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. So, and those things are all going to make you a better athlete. And so like obviously, you know, I'm big on speed, agility, conditioning, weightlifting. Guys like starting in 5th grade, get on some sort of body weight program, med ball throw program, arm care, and by 7th, 8th grade, you should be hitting the weights.
Yeah, it's important you know how, right?
Yeah.
It's important you do it correctly.
You should be hitting the weights.
You shouldn't, if it's not that like, you know, when you're in 5th grade and getting a body program, it's not that like we expect you to like start pumping iron. That's
No.
ridiculous, right?
Body weight is all you need.
And then like, but it's all about technique. Like, and I know it's ironic because the younger you are, the less patience you have.
Right.
And you want to do more cool stuff, not proper stuff. And when you're a young kid or a young athlete, you can't see the end goal because you've never been to the end goal. But guys like us that have been there see it, and we know what to do. We know how to get there. You just have to trust. And trust is a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You got a lot of these kids have like 10, 12 parents, adults in their ear telling them to do things right.
Right.
It's hard to like a lot of kids can't compartmentalize. A lot of kids can't say like, I'll take some of that because that applies to me. They'll just take it all at once, and then they get overloaded. You know, it's just sensory overload, too much information, too many things conflicting with one another. But you have to learn how to do it right. And finding someone who can do it right is a huge bonus. So that way, going forward, when you do start lifting weights, you know how to do a little bit of preventative maintenance for injury. You know how to get stronger the proper way, and you can go ahead and get better overall in a general sense.
Yeah, my advice to them would be like find someone who's been there, done that. Like find someone like Jordan and I, who we've been at the Division I collegiate level. We know what it takes to get there. We know how to lift with correct form. We know how to eat right. I mean, so I think for kids, it's more so them finding someone that they can kind of turn to. They're not going to always listen to mom and dad. They got to find someone who lives the life, who lives that lifestyle, 100%. Because that's the only way they're going to listen.
If it's for my serious athletes out there, I had a nutritionist in college for 2 out of my 4 years, or at least for 2 years that I remember it, that I actually took it seriously. And those were the 2 years I did the best. Yeah, batted over 350. Yep. You know, had home runs, had steals, did well for both of those years. And the 2 years I did not have a nutritionist. I'm not saying this is what I'm not saying it was the cause of my performance, but I can't deny that it didn't have an impact.
Correct.
You know, I saw instead of me batting 350, I batted 300. Instead of me batting 350, I batted 285. Instead of me having like 5 home runs, I had like 1. Like, you know, it's just like something you notice. And like you eat right, and you may not feel it immediately. Some people feel like, oh, I feel better like immediately eating clean. I'm not one of those guys. Like,
No.
it's just food in the tank for me. But, like, it showed performance-wise.
Oh.
Like, hey, didn't get a cramp in the 18th inning on a doubleheader this time. Or I wasn't tired or my stomach wasn't growling in the 7th or 8th inning. Like, you notice stuff like that. Or, like, when I'm trying to focus on a pitch, I wasn't falling out of focus easily. I was staying focused longer. Like, that's kind of like, that's what eating healthy and being in your right nutrient-dense mind will do.
Yes.
And I think that takes a huge part of it. So, like, obviously not every kid can afford a nutritionist. Not every kid can afford a meal plan.
Mm-hmm.
But there is enough general knowledge, or you can contact us and we can give you said knowledge on how to get started in eating healthy. Because if you just start, that's going a long way than most people.
Right.
If you just start and attempt, you may not even do it all the way. You may not even do your goal in eating healthy the whole season. But if for like the time that you did put in, your body will reward you for it.
I mean, for the most part, if you avoid fast food, avoid sodas, these are kind of some easy first steps you can take in those elementary, middle school years. If you're avoiding fried foods, avoiding high excess sugars, I mean, that's already a better than most. You know what I mean? So that's a good starting point. And then from there, it's like, okay, let's learn what kind of proteins we need to be eating. You know what I mean?
Like rarely drink soda, not because it was unhealthy, but because like I broke out in acne
yeah.
from it. Like,
Yeah.
don't even drink soda. Like, can't have that. Can't be looking ugly. Out
No,
here,
it can't
you
be
know
looking
what I'm
ugly.
saying?
You got to look good, feel good, play good.
Exactly. Everyone knows. Like, hey, we got I want to talk to a scout with like 3 whiteheads about to pop.
Yeah. No shot.
know?
No shot.
But going in, this is like another segment that we want to do for you guys, you parents out there, and also you players. Being able to recognize what's going on with your swing mid-game, making an adjustment, right? You hear this all the time. You hear people saying, all right, like you take a swing, whether you swing, miss, hit a foul, you hear people say, make an adjustment. So like, what does that mean, making an adjustment, right? I would say making an adjustment means you were able to feel your swing, feel that whole sequence, that whole pitch that just occurred, learn where it went wrong, and then mentally make the change in your mind and then apply it physically on the next pitch. That is called making an adjustment. I think you'd agree, right?
Right.
What are some things that you see that your kids do that they make mistakes, but like you should know based on the result what's going on with their swing so that they can make the adjustment?
Yeah, I'm not big on making too many mechanical adjustments per se in a game, but what I am big on is like moving up or back in the box. These are little things like, oh, hey, this guy keeps fooling me with the changeup. He also doesn't have a very hard fastball. Okay, then let's move up in the box so that we're on time. You're not going to get blown up by his fastball. You're also going to be making contact with the changeup maybe before it drops. You know what I mean? Like, so these are some of the things I go over with my kids is like, hey, if you're going through like a lull or a slump, move closer to the plate, further from the plate, back in the box, up in the box. Pete Rose talked about that. I couldn't agree with that more, man. So I preach to them on that because very rarely are there going to be like 9, 10, 11-year-olds in AA or AAA level throwing cheddar. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
There's a few kids in major level throwing some cheese, right? But like, if you're coming to me, you're playing AA, AAA, I know the velocity is not great. So I'm big on moving up in the box. Those are kind of the mid-game adjustments I make. And then also, I preach to my kids, watch how pitchers pitch the kids in front of you in the lineup. So if you're batting like, say, 5-hole, and you're right-handed hitter, and there's like 3 righties in ahead of you.
Sure.
Pitchers are creatures of habit.
For sure.
So if that pitcher got your number 2 hole hitter down 0-2 and threw a changeup and gets you down 0-2, what do you think he's going to throw you?
100%.
You know what I mean? Until you prove them otherwise, these pitchers are going to probably pitch every righty, every lefty.
The same.
Pretty much the same.
More or less the same.
Especially at the youth level, right? Like 9 to, I'm talking like 8 to, 16? 8 to 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First pitch fastball, start them off hot, and then as soon as they get into a plus count, dish it off to the side.
Yes.
Change up, curveball, slider, same.
And so a lot of it is focus, is redirecting the focus instead of jacking around in the dugout, talking about who knows what. Let's lock in. Let's see what pitches the pitcher is throwing.
Yeah, and that's not really like an adjustment. That's like pregame, right? That's
Correct.
That's like gaining information
Yeah.
before you go out there. We'll get to that. Some of the things that I see my kids do that my parents can pick up on, like, so you don't like to make a lot of mechanical adjustments.
I think, especially in like just a regular select ball tournament, I mean, if you get in their head too much and they're thinking about too many things, they tend to kind of like screw up even more. So I'm like, hey, I write it down. I'm like, hey, we'll take the L this at bat. We'll take the L maybe next at bat. But we're going to focus on maybe in between games, maybe afterwards. Then we can kind of focus on some drills and stuff to do, because the last thing I want my parents to doing is yelling and trying to coach from the stands. You know what I mean? So
I mean, yeah. So like I preach that too, but I don't take it like, I don't want them to make the mechanical adjustment. I want them to recognize.
Yeah.
Because the mechanical adjustment is their natural swing.
Right.
So like, let's say kid's batting, swings the bat super hard, gets underneath it, foul ball, goes behind the backstop, right? At that point, I tell my kids to step out, think about what just happened. So I just got underneath the ball, I dipped, went over, how do I fix it? Oh, I just got to be direct, go to A to B. And if you just say that in your head, like, just got to go A to B, take a light little practice swing of you going A to B to a ball you just imagine, like, before you get back in the box, that's it.
Right.
And then you go execute. Right?
Yeah.
Then you just hit the ball knowing that, like, you just told yourself, so now you're going to go A to B. That's kind of like what I do. I don't want them to physically focus
I don't
on
want
it.
them to...
Like, no matter what, I just got to go. I just want them to recognize what went wrong. How do I fix it? Do it in my practice swing. Now we're back to, let's hit this fastball.
Yeah.
Let's go get to it, right? And so, like, a couple of things that I see with a lot of my kids, right, is if your kid squares up the ball, like, hits it hard, but it goes straight to the ground and it's pulled to either shortstop or third base, odds are your child wrapped around the ball. And what I mean by that is instead of their barrel staying inside and their hand staying inside the ball and extending through the plate right back to the pitcher, they stiffen their arms and wrap their ball around. So the barrel came outside the ball path and then pulled it directly into the ground.
Correct.
Same thing for, a pitch and the ball's popped up. That means their bat did not go from point A to point B and then extend through the zone. Their barrel went underneath the ball and then tried to catch it as it was crossing the plate. Hits up, your barrel's underneath it, hits the top of the barrel. Remember, it's a round object, so that thing is going straight up and it flies out. Another thing is if, your kid hits a pitch down the middle or inside and it comes off the end of the bat. What happened? Your front side flew out.
Yeah.
Right? Your kid literally came in, swinging, and then his front side came out, his shoulder led the swing, and his barrel went from covering the whole strike zone to only like a part of the strike zone, and he hit the ball off the end of the bat, even though the pitch is down the middle and the ball didn't go far.
Right.
Usually what happens, what I see is that the kid is leading and trying to swing hard with his arms, and when you lead with your arms, the first thing that goes is your shoulder and your arms. So I tell my kids, lead with your hip and your legs first, get that rotation, that, that coil, and then your hands will be guided through the zone, right?
Yep.
I mean, lefties usually naturally do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you once fly out.
Just coil out, man.
Yeah.
Yordan Alvarez, kind of same thing, right? You turn that shoulder kind of in a little bit. You turn the hips in. You coil your body. You literally want to think of yourself as like a rubber band, and you're trying to turn and then explode forward. That's why I preach to my younger kids, right? Is, that's a big issue, is the shoulder flying open and the lack of in the zone for a long period of time. Because if your barrel's in and out of the zone so quickly, you have a very small window and very small percentage of
milliseconds to hit the ball.
No, but because guys, as hitters, your timing's not going to be perfect every swing. Very rarely will it be perfect.
Absolutely.
But you need to make sure your barrel's entering the zone early and in the zone for a long period of time. So if you're a little early or a little late, you still are finding a barrel and you're hitting the ball hard somewhere or fouling it off, keeping your at bat alive.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
And now going forward to we gotta everyone should do their job to make batting easier. So how do you do that? You gain as much information as you possibly, right? So when I was playing baseball, as soon as I got to high school, and I did this all the way through college, and I guess for the rest of my career, right? I would try to see who was warming up in the bullpen before the game started.
Yeah.
I want to see where his arm slot is. So I gotta know, I'm automatically looking 3/4. Am I looking up top? Am I looking submarine? Am I looking sidearm? Where is he? Is he short? Is he long? Does he hide the ball? I need to find out that information before he even steps on that mound. Right. I also want to know how many pitches what kind of pitches he's done. When he's warming up, is he going like this? Is he calling fastballs, changeups, curveballs, sliders, knuckles? Who knows? You need to know. That way you can mentally prepare for the different scenarios.
You need to know.
And then as the game goes on, you need to notice, like you were saying earlier, how is he pitching to righties?
Right.
How is he pitching to lefties? Right. What's his strongest pitch? Is it his fastball, or is it just like my get me over pitch and my real hard stuff is my curveball? Right. Is he throwing changeups to righty lefties? What's his sequence? Does he always take a breath and pitch? Does he always stop and pause for 2 seconds? Does he mix it up? Like that goes for on base running too, right? If I'm on base and I know this guy, every time he takes a deep breath, he's going home. As soon as he gets off his breath, I'm taking that back.
100%.
Can't stop it, right? You need to find out what his routines are, his patterns are. I mean, you get so much, like, instead of, fooling around in the dugout, you could be talking to your teammates or finding out information, like, is that their baseman back? Is it even?
Right.
Are they giving me a free lane for a drag line? Is the catcher setting up mostly outside?
Correct.
Does the catcher start setting up outside, right? Because you can't look behind him, like where's he trying to go, right? You know what I mean? Like you need to, am I making an adjustment? Like, oh, he's throwing pretty slow. I should start up in the box,
Right.
So I'm on time, right? Because it's like he's so drastic. Or hey, he's pumping cheddar. I should probably move back.
Yeah, you can tell in warm-ups, right? Like with a 9-10-year-old, they're not going to try to hide something.
With your
Like
teammates, if all your teammates before you are behind, take a hit.
Right.
You probably might be behind. He's throwing. The odds are he's probably throwing a little bit harder than everyone thinks.
Correct.
Or everyone's not on the same page, and so I'll be back in the box.
You'd be surprised how many of my players, like, how simple things are and how simple you can make it for them. It's like, did you see this? Like, when they come to me and they're like, hey, my timing's been off. Are you standing in the same spot in the batter's box? Yeah. Well, why haven't we moved up or moved back? You know what I mean? But these are little things that I think a lot of guys that come up to us, they think of all these big picture, all these details, right? Because they get overloaded with information. But sometimes it's like, hey, this is a very hard game, but it's also a very simple game. You got to simplify it.
Well, that's also a good question because the more you teach kids, you have to teach them timing.
Correct.
Timing is like some kids just naturally have it. Very few. Very some can just put it together. But like, how do you? I'll explain how I teach timing to a kid. But how do you teach timing to a kid?
Have good vision. You got to have good eyesight. So if you can't see the ball,
I mean, like explain the concept of how you explain.
Yeah. So basically, what I do is I teach having rhythm in my swing or in my stance. Sorry, I don't want to be as still as a statue, right? Because then I'm tight. And more than likely, I'm going to be slower if I'm tight, right? A tight muscle is a slow muscle, a loose muscle is a fast muscle. So I preach to kids, have a firm grip, but not a super tight grip. We want to be relaxed in our hands. And we want to have some sort of rhythm. If you look at most big leaguers, most of them have some sort of rhythm in their hands, right? And all that does is a timing mechanism, but it's also keeping you loose so that you can engage your load a little bit easier and a little bit quicker, instead of being super still. So when the pitcher is here, right before the release, I'm beginning to sway back. I'm beginning to coil, whatever you want to call it, because I have less than half a second to react once that ball's in the air. You know what I mean? So I then tell them, hey, let's start that load, but I don't want to load very quick. I want it to be gradual. Yeah. And I want it to be nice and smooth. So I'm like, hey, be nice and smooth and be like a rubber band. You pull back a rubber band, let go of it, it blasts off. You're pulling the rubber band back so that you can pack more of a punch to the ball. Because when you're here, that's when you're deciding, where the ball's going to be pitched and if I'm going to swing at it or not. But those hands have to be loaded when that ball's in midair.
100%.
That's kind of like, and when it comes to the front foot, that's where I fall into a lot of issues with a lot of my kids is they want to stop or have a high leg kick and it's slowing them up. So I recommend basically at ages of 7 to 10, maybe 11, don't have a high leg kick. I mean, like if it works for you, it works for you, right? But my big thing is if you're late and you have a high leg kick, that's a problem that we need to kind of like solve. We need to kind of simplify our swing, simplify our load, and that includes just dialing down that front foot so that we can land lighter and we can be quicker to the ball.
Yeah, I don't really have too many kids that have leg kicks. Mostly because they don't have the body control to do it, right? Right. How I go about
coordination issue.
Yeah, how I go about teaching timing. I always say like timing is kind of a bad word to use for baseball because in reality you're reacting.
Yeah.
You are not timing it because in reality, the pitcher may not throw the ball the same miles per hour. The pitcher may throw a different pitch.
Right.
And you can't time one thing without timing the other. Like you can't time the fastball and also time for the curveball. There's two different times. So how do we do that? We react to the ball, right? So I always tell my guys like, hey, I was very slow about it. I was like, my hands were down low and they were slanting with your rhythm.
Yeah.
And then when the pitcher came set, I put them up, and then I kind of went into like the suspension mode where I was just super slow moving. And then when he breaks, I start my load, my coil, but I'm very slow. Very slow. I don't grab it. And like as long as I can get to this spot in without stopping, right? We don't want to start stopping.
Right.
We don't want to do. If I can get to like with this range right here, I can get to this range, and my hips are already loaded. All I gotta do is, at that point now, I can put my foot down as fast as I want, athletically, softly, right? Like athletically, not stomping it, not opening up. As soon as I put it down, boom, and I'm making sure I'm on time. So I always tell my kids, like, hey, I want you to do a slow load. I want to do a slow load, and I want you to explode after. And when your hands are already here, you're already primed in your position, and you can just go. So you want to be slow with your load, and then that's when you're timing. And then I always tell my kids, hey, as that ball is reaching the point of contact, like where we practice on the tee, as it's approaching, you can put your foot down as fast as you want to match that timing, and then continue with your swing. And obviously it's a little bit more sophisticated than that scientifically, and but that's a very elementary way of explaining it to a child.
You gotta simplify.
Two.
Tier 1 performance.